Me today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Pat Flynn, here to help you make more money, save more time, and help more people too. This is day 153 in a row of live streaming here on YouTube, and today I'm going to be talking about live streaming basics. Yeah, I'm not even sitting down for this one. I'm standing up because we have a lot to cover today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hope you stick around. Watch all the way through because I'm going to go through everything from pre-going live, during the live situation that you're going to do, and then after the live, how to repurpose and do all those fun things, plus how to add some flavor to your show like this. Let's make it happen.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're at. Thank you so much for chiming in today and coming in. I appreciate you so much. We are doing this as a result of yesterday's stream, day 152, where we talked about the future. And we figured out that the future is going to be a lot of live streaming. You're going to have to do some live streaming of some kind, maybe not daily, and I actually wouldn't recommend it. I'm just doing it daily since we are in pandemic mode, and everybody here keeps showing up. Say hello to your friends here if you're in the chat, if you're watching the replay. Hashtag replay in the comments section. I will also share with you after your live streams are done how to repurpose, how to take things and keep them going for you. So it's not just a one-time shot. You can actually get multiple uses out of one live stream. But the future, like I said, is going to be about a lot of things like we talked about yesterday. But one thing in particular, especially related to content, is the live component. Now, I don't think that we need to go live on a consistent basis and have a show in order for live to be very productive for us. In fact, let's say that you have your normal schedule and you're going to launch something, or you're going to come out with something new, or you have some big announcement. Going live to supplement that can be a great way to speed up the relationship building process, to show and build authority at the same time. We got Karma Cashflow in the house. What's up? Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you for that. The Lady Writes is here. Hey, welcome in. Glad to see you back. So stoked that you're here. Manos Man in the house. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Also, just let me say hello to some of my friends here. Dole Whip Dad, what's up? Good to see you here. Woohoo says, Simply Obs, great to see you here. Pat Live Master Flynn. Yoke Van Dam, what's up? I would love to join again. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. April, Dr. Joella, Desmond, Beth. Great to see you all here. Appreciate you and your time and attention. But why else might we go live, whether it's going to be consistently for a show or because we're just trying to insert something in the middle of a campaign of some kind? Because live is a great way, like I said, to build relationships quickly. Yes, there's other ways to do that too. Webinars are often a topic that comes up in these sort of discussions about live streams. Like, what about webinars? Aren't they great too? Yeah, they're absolutely great. In fact, they can do even more for you. But they're definitely a lot harder to put together. They're more formal. There's an expectation that there is a fine-tuned presentation. The beauty of live is that there's no expectation that it needs to be perfect. In fact, the fact that it's not perfect adds a little bit of personality to it. It adds a little bit of excitement. People potentially on edge because who knows what might happen, especially when on Fridays here we bring the wheel out and I might play silly games that make me look dumb, but either way, we're having a good time, and I love bringing the community together. Another great reason why we should be thinking about going live is because it's not just about, for example, me talking to you and you here in the chat talking to me, but the amazing thing I've learned after 153 days of this is that the chat talks to each other, and it's such an amazing situation because people here, let me know in the chat if in fact you've done this. I'm going to leave the chat open for those who are watching the replay so you can see. Let me know how you've connected with other people here or how the other members of the tribe here have helped you, right? So I think that's super cool, and it's one of the most amazing things. In fact, I have a book called Superfans. Not sponsored, but kind of is because it's my book, right? So anyway, there's an entire chapter here about showing up and facilitating a container to which your audience can meet each other. Right? Gigs and events and little meetups and things like that are great. But the beauty of it is it's not just about you, and it shouldn't be about you. It's about you allowing your audience to connect with each other, because if you've brought people together in some way, shape, or form based on a topic or an interest of some kind, the ability for you to bring those people together is only going to do so much good for your brand, to build it up, to build out authority. You become the connector between all those people, and it can do nothing but heighten your brand. And I absolutely love that. And I love seeing the conversations here about people who have been helped here in many different kinds of ways. This has helped so much with everything, says Peasant. Glad to see you here, by the way. Pat has such energy. He's fast. Wonder if he has run track. No, but I've ran coffee down my throat, and I'm feeling it right now, which is really great. I appreciate you for that, by the way. I love like Steve's comment here. This group has helped me dealing with an uncle I lost last Friday. Thanks, guys. Sorry to hear that happen, Steve. We are here for you. Appreciate you so much, and that we're part of your family as well. So thank you all for those kind comments and proving my case here. My case being we need to go live every once in a while. Now, if you can turn it into a show, and yes, there's ways to go live and then take that audio and put it into a podcast, take the video and repurpose it. We're going to talk about that stuff later. But for right now, just know that going live is great, whether you go live once in a blue moon or you go live every day like myself. So now that we've talked about why, hey, Archer in the house, no team replay for me today. I'm back from the future to say today's episode is going to be #bruh. It is perfect for you because I know you go live. Hey, Archer, thank you for the $5 donation, by the way. You want to talk about another reason to go live. Such an amazing supportive community. We've donated thousands of dollars to different charities as a result of connecting here. That was sort of unforeseen. Didn't think it was going to happen. Never really even predicted that. And now we have 99 members who are paying monthly here. So you want to talk about income, you can get income from bringing your community together too. And members, if you're here, use your favorite emoji. There might be some new ones that you haven't seen in a while. Feel free to spam the chat lightly with your favorite emoji that you have access to as a member. Cool. So now let's talk about platforms, right? Because we need to live stream on a platform, at least one. And I think a big mistake that a lot of people do when they want to go live is they do this. Oh, there are these tools out there that can help you stream on all the different platforms at the same time, from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even Twitch, all at once. Might as well do them all at the same time. And although that's a technically smart thing to do, technically it's quite difficult to do. And also, you're going to spread yourself thin really fast because you have to sign up to all those different. I see a lot of bruhs in the audience there. Thank you so much for that. There are a lot of different ways to go about succeeding on each of those different platforms. They're a little bit different. There's different feels to them. There's different methods. There are different things that work on one platform versus another, right? Streaming on Instagram Live is completely different than streaming on Twitch, which is different than streaming on Facebook. I would recommend picking one platform to choose to start and trying to make this as easy as possible for you. As easy as possible for you. Rafal, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Stephanie in the house, welcome to Team Flynn Gold, by the way. Appreciate you. And we're going to be talking about these sound effects and music and all this stuff later too once we get into production mode, but we're still talking about the pre-live stream stuff, right? So we're talking about platforms right now, and I would recommend, in chat, let me know if you agree with this, to start out, let's just keep it simple. Pick the one platform. Yes, I could take the stream and put it on Twitch at the same time and put it on Facebook, but then my energy is going to be a little bit divided, especially with the communities there. And the whole idea of going live, in my opinion, is to build community, especially if you're going to do this on a more long-term basis. Now, if you are doing this, for instance, in a moment to do something like an announcement on a campaign that you're running, then maybe it might be worth exploring how to live stream on all those different platforms at the same time. My biggest concern is that each of those platforms are not going to get complete love from you in terms of interaction with the audience. And that's a really important component of live. That's what makes live, the live component, right? So Andy here says start with one, and I would highly agree with that. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you for the support there. So you all agree with that. That's great. I would pick one. Now, different platforms, I would start with the one that you already have potentially the largest audience with. That might be Instagram, it might be Facebook, just to kind of get your feet wet. But there's definitely a case to be made for things like YouTube Live and the capabilities that are here. For example, the memberships and the ability for these things to be picked up in the algorithm later. I've seen so many views. In fact, more of my views for these live streams come after the live stream. So more than Facebook, in my opinion, although you do have more of a viral quality on Facebook, and definitely more than things like Instagram, you have the ability here on YouTube to be found in the algorithm. In fact, that's what I think is superior to Twitch. They're very similar, especially like in the gaming space, but YouTube in particular has the ability for you to take these videos and continually get momentum from them. Twitch, yes, those videos are recorded, and yes, you can watch them later. On Instagram stories, yes, you can go live and then they're there for 24 hours. Yes, you can pop them into IGTV, but IGTV findability is nowhere near as close to YouTube, for example. So that's why I prefer YouTube for live right now. Cool. So let's keep talking here. Software. In order to go live on a particular platform, you're going to need some sort of software. Now, again, to keep it simple, there are platforms such as Facebook, Twitter Live, which was formerly Periscope. I remember when the live thing happened, I think this was 4 or 5 years ago, at South by Southwest. There were 2 live platforms that came out nearly around the same time. In fact, the first one was called Meerkat. And yes, live has been around for a long time. There was Blog TV and all these other platforms back in the day. But in terms of like in today's modern technology environment with apps and phones and connectivity and how easy it is for us to use these things, Meerkat was first. It was like a yellow logo with a weasel bear looking thing as the logo. And then Periscope came out. And then Twitter bought Periscope. Meerkat I haven't heard about in a while. And there's other ones too, Crowdcast and whatnot. But right now, these are the big players, the ones that we just mentioned. Now, for ones that are app native, and yes, I believe you can do this on YouTube as well and on Twitch, you can use your phone. You can just make it simple. However, I'm going to be talking about a little bit more structure and professionalism, if you want to call it that. I hate to say that word because it's like these things aren't professional. They're just coordinated, and there's cameras, there's different music, there's other ways to sort of create the show element that's a little bit different than just going on your phone. However, I will say, if you are going to be streaming on your phone, that's totally cool. I love that idea. However, the biggest mistake I see people make when they're live streaming, and this is great because you can be on location somewhere and you're live streaming and you're sharing the background and things that are happening. The biggest mistake I see people make when they're live streaming from their phone is they set their phone down and this is their view. And they just literally stay stationary. You have the ability to move around. If you're going to be live streaming on your phone, move around, show the background, flip the camera every once in a while. Those are what I like to call pattern interrupts, things that make the screen different so that people will continue to watch all the way through. Pattern interrupts which psychologically reset people's brains and make them interested in what's coming next. And if you're on a mobile device, definitely take advantage of that if you have the ability to do that. Move around a little bit. If you do have the ability to have a microphone, something like a Rode Smart Lav, which I think, do I have one of them? I do. So I have a Rode Smart Lav here, which you'll see is a device that connects to your phone, and there's a little lavalier, and this gives you the best sound, in my opinion, for and from your phone if you're going to be going mobile. This little... Sorry, it just looks kind of wacky because there's cords here. Comes with a little nice little pouch. Look at that little cute little pouch. If you have nothing else but live on your phone, then do it from your phone. But this is a great tool. I love it. The lady writes, "Thanks for all you do. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you." That's so dope. So anyway, that's the Rode Smart Lav. And yeah, I got the top-down view again. What's up, y'all? What's up? We got this view, and we got this view here. Now, obviously, if you go and you have some cameras, you can do some fun things like these different camera angles, which, again, just make it seem a little bit more professional. I'm here by myself. I don't have a... Caleb, can you go to camera 1, please? Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Hey, can we go to the top-down view now? Caleb. Ah, thank you. No, it's just me, right? So let's continue talking here about software. I go live on my Mac using a Mac-only software called Ecamm Live. I've done a video about Ecamm Live, which got picked up on YouTube. I am an affiliate for Ecamm Live. I love the company. They are a small but nimble and quick company to fix things, and I absolutely love that. In fact, Ecamm was a company that I first learned about when it came to recording podcasts, because they had podcast recording software that was a third-party program that you can use to record Skype conversations. Now Skype has built-in recording, and they've made this amazing pivot into actually live streaming software like this, where I can do a lot of fun things like offering things like that, putting, hey, make sure you subscribe down here, just legit while we're here. And by the way, for those of you who left the thumbs down, just thank you so much. It still helps with the algorithm. I hope you have a better day, and I'm praying for you. I hope all is well. But Stream Deck is awesome too. I'm using a Stream Deck to go along with this. I'll talk a little bit more about the hardware, and then we're going to get into the actual production and live stream component and tips that I have for you. And this is where I feel I have really, really grown over the past 153 days, is the ability to capture people's attention, to hold people's attention, to connect and create a flow that makes it seem like this was practice. And again, it did take practice, it took time, but there's some interesting things that I can share with you to keep you going, and so make sure you stick around for that. And that's an example there of what I like to call an open loop. Hey, here's what's coming later, don't miss it. Now you can't leave. So, I mean, you can leave, obviously. I'm not here holding you hostage. But I'm trying to, with my words and with the things that are coming up, hold you here so that you don't miss anything. And I don't want you to lose out or make the same mistakes that I did. Okay, so Ecamm Live for Mac, by far my favorite. If you are on a PC, there's a lot of other options. OBS software, open broadcasting software, is free, and it works in a, it's not similar in the way that Ecamm Live is just kind of visual. What you see is what you get. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a learning curve, but it's free and you can figure it out really quickly. There's a ton of videos on YouTube about how to use OBS. StreamYard is another one that's great for streaming across platform, as well as Streamlabs. So Streamlabs, StreamYard is sort of the up and comer right now, and OBS. OBS is a free one. Ecamm is definitely not free. However, make sure you stick around to the end because I will be giving away 2 licenses, 2 annual pro licenses to Ecamm Live. And if you don't have Ecamm, or excuse me, if you don't have a Mac, then we'll figure out another thing that we can offer for you in exchange for that. But stick around to the end. I'm going to pick 2 random people who have left a comment and scroll up and down the chat to offer something for free. And we'll give that to you later today. So, hey, how about that? And there's another hook, a way for you to stick around to the end. There's a giveaway. There's something I'm going to be offering. So there's a little fun little contest there for you. So yes, StreamYard, OBS, Ecamm Live, Streamlabs, and of course there's many others as well. Luma, I think, is one that actually does Instagram. Luma, L-O-O-M-A. There's a bunch out there. Pick the one that works for you, stick with it, master it, and then move on. Okay, next. We're almost to the point where we're like hitting that broadcast button and going live, and then I'm going to go over some tips related to that. But first, let's talk about some cameras that we can use. If you are using your regular laptop camera, I mean, it's not going to look very great. In fact, I don't even have that camera set up here because it's just very poor. The lighting and the focus is not going to be very great coming from your in-laptop or built-in cam. There's some relatively cheaper webcams that I'd recommend that work really well. There's one called the Logitech C920, which I believe I have right here. The Logitech C920, the most popular one for like the last decade, literally. This thing just plugs in via USB. You pop it in there, although this is USB-C, so that's kind of weird. This is the Logitech C920. It's great. Will do the job. It looks fantastic. Sometimes, depending on the lighting and the color, it can look a little weird, but it's great. It's great. And I think I don't know what the price is now because prices have definitely been inflated since the pandemic. Now, the upgraded version of this, and again, this is nice because you can just plug it in via USB, is the Logitech Brio. So this is the C920. C is in Charlie, 920. The Logitech Brio is a great webcam that you can use for literally plug and play, and it has a 4K situation, HD, really good quality, and that's what I'm using, in fact, for this camera view up here. It's just literally, I don't know if you can, actually, I can probably show you. Like this is the Logitech face down. I'm also using a shotgun microphone. Again, higher level production here in the Pat Cave, but this is all stuff that was in the studio that I brought home for the pandemic to use. So I don't expect you, and you shouldn't just start with all the bells and whistles. Start simple, right? Start simple. But audio is an important component of this as well. This camera that I'm looking at right now is the Sony ZV-1. This is my brand new pickup. It's a point and shoot camera. It's really great. In fact, let me go this way. The nice thing about having 3 cameras is I can go this way. And I have it on a switch pod, and this is the camera here. Let me see, what would happen if I go like that? Whoa, hey! That's kind of funny. Okay, let's bring this back. This is a nice point and shoot camera. that actually takes beautiful photos, and I just plugged it into my computer via USB. There's a micro USB connector, and it's really great because it allows for the camera to be picked up on Ecamm Live as a video source, which is pretty cool. So that's how I'm able to just plug it into Ecamm Live right here, and I can still do all the fun things. And then lastly, something I want to talk about is called the Stream Deck. This is not required. In fact, you can actually set up your phone to do the same thing, but this is a Stream Deck here. Let me show you this bad boy. This is a Stream Deck here. This is what allows me to change my scenes, to add text on top of the screen like that. I can change it to, let's see, the front camera there. This is the top-down view, and then this camera right here. I can also do some fun things like add a link like that, and all like full screen takeovers that are set up ahead of time, but again, just allow for a little bit higher level production. And the Stream Deck is super cool because it is just like with my fingers, right there. So yeah, there you go. Now, Ecamm will only pick up certain cameras automatically. In some other cases, you might have to have what's called a cam link from Elgato. It's a tool that you plug in USB into your computer, and then you can plug in if you have an HDMI cable from your camera into the Elgato Cam Link 4K into this. And again, we're getting a little bit more technical than I wanted to right now, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's keep going here. Let's remove ourselves from the software. If you'd like to check out a little bit more about the specific setup that I have here, including lights and more information about the software and the cameras that I use, you can go to patflynn.com/live setup. patflynn.com/live setup. Cool. Does your team go live with you behind the scenes? No, they don't even know what I'm doing. This is for me. No, it's all me here. It's all me here. Anyway, now the final thing before we go live is, okay, what are we going to talk about? I love the idea of having specific topics that I'm going to go into, because then I can actually plan a little bit and outline and create a little bit of an outline of the path I want to go down. Not always required though. Sometimes just going live, especially on social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram, can be a great, easy, fun, and quick way to connect with your audience, to just connect and do a quick Q&A. I will say, however, that the biggest mistake I see people make when they go live is either not being prepared enough and just kind of, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, let's see what happens. At least have some stories to tell. Even if you're going to do a Q&A and you're kind of going ad hoc and you're not scheduling this out, you just kind of want to go live on Instagram, at least think about one or two stories that you can tell. Because these stories that you can tell can fill in those gaps of time when you're either waiting for people to come in or there's no questions. And number two, storytelling, it's a masterful thing that we need to know how to do, and you can practice that. Just something maybe that happened during the day, or something that happened in your past, or something that you want to just share. Use these live streaming platform opportunities to tell story, because story is what gets people to sit down and listen and to relate and to remember. And these are why stories are absolutely key. So have some stories in mind, even if you're going to go ad hoc Q&A. That's the biggest tip for you. The other mistake I see people make when they go live, and I guess we'll transition into what happens when we go live now, is this. This is what we don't want to do. And I hope people don't come in and are like, this is terrible, right? I have the link still up there. Oh, I do still have the link up there. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So here's what we don't want to do. I'm going to go to this camera angle here and pretend we're going live. Okay, so this is what we don't want to do. 3, 2, 1, scene starts. All right, I think we're live. Hey. All right, Joe. Hey, Joe. Glad to see you here. Let me see. Is this focused? Okay. We'll just wait a couple minutes for more people to come in, and I'm I'm excited to say hello. And if you have questions, I'd love to answer them. Let's. Oh, hey, Jane. Jane, good to see you, Jane. Thanks for being here. Joey, hey, Joey. Okay, we don't want to do that. We don't want to start off by just having people wait, right? We want to provide some people who do show up right away with just getting right into it. And here's the other reason why we don't want to do that. Because what if you're watching the replay on Instagram TV, on YouTube, or you are watching this on Facebook? what is it going to be like for the replay viewer when you're like, hey, Joe, thanks for being here. Yeah, your replay viewer is gone. Remember, most of my views for my live streams have come after. So we need to start off right at the beginning. And yes, people are going to miss some things, but we have a way to combat that. We reshare the hook. So in the beginning, number one, start off right away. Did you hear how I started today? I went like this. Hey everybody, what's up? Pat here. Welcome to day 153 of the income stream. Today we're going to be talking about live streaming and all the basics that you need to know so that the next time you go live, whether you go live all the time or even just once in a while, you can keep your audience captivated, engaged, and get the maximum results. I have made a lot of mistakes in these 153 days, but I want to make sure you don't make the same mistakes too. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks so much. My name is Pat Flynn, here to help you make more money, save more time, and help more people too. And for those of you coming in right now, today we're talking about live streaming. Again, top mistakes that I've made, different things that you can do before you start live streaming, as you're live streaming, and after you're live streaming, including things like how to repurpose your stuff. So hey, welcome Joe, welcome Joey, welcome Janice, Jane, thanks for being here. So I just literally went right into it. But again, what did I do? I actually shared the topic twice. I provided a couple different hooks. And then even throughout the live stream, like right now, if you just come in late, you might not know what I'm talking about, which is why it's totally okay for you in a live stream to reshare the hook, to create more open loops, and to remind people why they're there, right? That's really, really important. We have to realize that there are going to be some people who come in late, and it's totally okay to reshare what it is that you're going to be talking about. That's okay. On a regular YouTube video, that's probably not the best thing to do. Right? On a regular YouTube video, reminding people with the same hook every single time, actually, that's not terrible, but people are there, they're already invested. People are coming in later here. And like, who was it? Michael here, who says, well, you're probably going to have 0 viewers in the beginning. And yeah, that's totally true. But guess what? You'll have more viewers on your replay. And people can watch these later. And on platforms like especially YouTube and Twitch and other places, I mean, these videos can become evergreen, especially if it's topic specific. And those are the kinds of live streams that I love to do, is topic specific. Like today was about live streaming. Yesterday was about the future and the things that we have to pay attention to. Last week was about affiliate marketing. The week before that was about email marketing. And these videos that are very specific get picked up more likely on YouTube. And also if people happen to go, oh, that's a topic of interest to me, well, then I'm going to pay attention and watch all the way through versus live with Pat. And in fact, that's how I started the income stream. It was just live with Pat for 12, 14 days until I was like, hey, this show
This is the income stream
is going to be an actual thing. Let's get a song made. Let's get a title to it. Let's call it the income stream. And let's actually create some momentum here by creating topic specific videos so that people know what to look forward to. The cool thing about YouTube as well and Twitch is you can create waiting rooms. You can do something similar on Facebook where you can create an event about an upcoming live stream that you're going to do. But on Instagram and other places, it's not really something that you can sort of schedule ahead of time. And we've noticed that ever since we started scheduling these things ahead of time, big shout out to Paul Lipsky in the beginning, who helped me figure out how to do this. But on YouTube, for example, I can set these live streams up the day before so that people can come in, they can set themselves a reminder, they can come in and connect with each other, and there's a lot of fun things that can happen there. But, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Looks like we're all good. Fantastic. Pat, can I link this replay as a resource in a workshop I'm doing for professors? Yes, absolutely, Dustin. Let me give you a big shout out there. Dustin, thank you. And if you're coming here because of Dustin later in the future, you're a rock star. Thank you. Okay, so the start, we just start, right? It's okay to remind people across the entire live stream while we're here. And for those of you who are coming in later, because I see the numbers growing, we're here today to talk about the basics of live streaming so you don't make mistakes. You can catch the replay later for how to do this. Phase shadows. Yo, you're not a real phase member. A real phase member wouldn't do that. And you're not a great Fortnite player. I'm going to put you in timeout right now. So you can remind people what the stream is about over time. Managing the chat is something that you're going to have to focus on. If you see a spammer in there are ways to combat that within the chats. Just like I did, I just put that guy in timeout right now, which is kind of cool. What about a countdown timer at the start, says Rafal. there's a lot of debate about this because the countdown timer at the start is great for people who are getting prepared to watch you live. But the countdown timer is not a great experience for people who are coming because of a specific topic that they found on YouTube, and then there's like an 8-minute countdown timer until they get to the content. Yes, they could just scroll to that point in the live stream to then watch it finally be live. But then again, that's extra work. And I just like starting straight up and preparing people ahead of time when these live streams are going to happen. A live countdown timer might work better on something like Twitch, where it's a little bit more community oriented and people can connect with each other, especially if you already have an audience, if that makes sense. Cool. Let's talk about interaction. Interaction is absolutely key. This is what makes live live. The ability for me to talk to you and to you to talk to me and for people to talk to each other. That's what it is about, right? So how do we best interact? Well, a couple secrets that I want to share with you. Number one, the most beautiful sound to a person's name, the most beautiful sound to a person is their name, right? I totally screwed that up. But that's Dale Carnegie from How to Win Friends and Influence People. And use this to your advantage. If you're there live with people, mention people's names. And if you're using a tool like Ecamm Live, you can do some fun things, like I can say hello to Melaine.tv or TV.t.v. And say hello here. And I can pop up the comment here on the chat, which is pretty cool. We could say hello to Doug Smith, who has a great tip here. Countdown timers equals more friction. We want smooth. We want as little friction as possible to get to our viewers and to say hello, right? So I can mention people's name. Luis, what's up? Welcome to Team Flynn Gold. Appreciate you for coming in. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Advice for interacting specifically during a watch party type of live. So Dustin, this is a great question. So watch party, I'm assuming is maybe a little bit more intense of a live, meaning there was a lot of hype leading up to it. There's like a party, we're watching something together, sort of a premiere or whatnot. I think that proposing questions ahead of time could be a really great thing to have people think about, hey guys, before we hit play on this, I want you to think about these 3 things, or I want you to see if you can spot these 3 differences. And to have people sort of engage almost like in a quiz type manner can be really neat. I think also proposing questions and asking questions to the audience is really great. Like, for example, if I were to ask all of you right now, hey, chat, what has been the best tip that I've shared with you so far that you didn't know? So far, we're about halfway into this. Let me know in the chat so I can see and validate whether or not you're actually getting a value here, if that makes sense. So make sure that you are interacting. You can ask questions. And the last thing you want to do when you ask a question is this, hey, chat, let me know what you think. All right, there are the answers. Okay, there's going to be a delay. That's the other thing to know about interaction on these live streaming platforms is there's going to be a delay. Like, give it some time. It's literally going to space and coming back down to you. So the last thing you want to do is ask a question and just kind of wait. So have something, just share something in between while you're waiting for answers. You've noticed me do this before without me even telling you. I'll ask you a question and then I'll just go into a story. And by the time that story is over, I have the answers and I can go back to it, right? So that does a couple things. Number one, I'm adding story in there. Like what I said, does a great job of interacting and engaging with people. That's a form of interaction and engagement, is telling a story, just like at a campfire, right? But by the time that story is over, now the questions are in that people were looking forward to the answers for. So there's some really cool things there that are really cool that you can do. Other forms of interaction, definitely highlighting and spotlighting great comments that your audience has said, right? I think that's really, really important, right? For example, Mark here, who's like, yo, single platform. Let's just start with one and keep it simple to start. We can repurpose and restream other things later to other places. And I love that. But highlighting members of your community, mentioning their name is a great way to make other community members feel like they're being heard. Even if you don't call out every person's name, they'll still feel like you're interacting with them as a whole. Another interesting fact is to make sure that you are always saying the word you. I make this mistake every once in a while, but I find that especially with more emotional and very, very heavy topics, if you get into the person who's on the other end of the lens and you talk to them as an individual versus the group as a whole, it's going to be that much more impactful. If we're playing games or something, I'll say chat or hey, everybody, what do you think? But if I am speaking about something that's really important, like your future, and when you go live and how nervous you are going to be before you go live, but then you hit that broadcast thing and you start to interact with people. Using words like you make it seem just more personal. And even though you are broadcasting to multiple people at the same time, by using the word you more often than you guys or hey everybody or y'all here, I don't say that, but using the word you gets a person to kind of just interact with you even without saying anything a little bit more because you are speaking directly to them, right? Mario here is asking, do you recommend standing or sitting? I don't know if you've noticed the difference, but because I'm standing today, I do have a lot more energy than usual. I do have some good freshly brewed coffee with me though. And I think that standing up does give you a little bit more energy. Fun story, by the way, story time. I once was told that when recording a podcast, just even without a video, was a smart thing to do standing up. And I was like, really? Like, does that actually make a difference? So I tested it. In one of my episodes, I literally don't even remember which one, but I stood up and I delivered the show, just like I normally do. And then I published it a week later. And I kid you not, I heard from a dozen or so people that there was just something different about this episode. They couldn't put their finger on it, but I knew, and when I listened back to it later, I knew that it was because I stood up. There was just another sort of energy level there. Now, in some cases, standing up makes perfect sense, right? When you want to bring that energy, thank you for the for the emojis, by the way, everybody. Thank you for that. You know what to do. You know what to do. But standing is great for the lungs, as Dr. Joella says, and we should listen to her because she knows about the body. She helps people with ergonomics and such. So that's great. Thank you, Dr. Joella. We have just that much more energy. When you're standing up, you're presenting, right? And today's topic was a more presenting style type of video. So I wanted to, in this live stream, bring that energy and have it be like I was up here kind of like giving you the energy and doing that sort of thing. And literally this coffee is doing so well for me today. Yesterday, it was more of a, let's see, like, let me just change it up. Let me just change it up for you. Little transition music, which didn't really fit in. Now it's like, hey, we're sitting at a table together. You're here at your table or on a walk or wherever you're at, doesn't matter, but it's an imaginary table. And I'm on this side, and now we're just having a chat. And I can get, especially with this angle, which is a little bit more closer, right? Just go, hey guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. You have inspired me to show up for 153 days in a row. Do you see how much more intimate that was versus hey guys, I appreciate you. It's been 153 days. You're awesome. Still effective, but not as effective as this. Another thing I love to do live to increase engagement is to add some flavor. And by flavor, I mean different camera angles, like you've seen. It's kind of weird. But mixing it up a little bit, again, pattern interrupts are one of my favorite things to do. I do this across all my different platforms, even blogging, podcasting, YouTube videos that are pre-recorded. And of course, during these live streams, I like to mix it up. And I mix it up because when you surprise somebody, gets them back on the edge of their seats, watching and listening, right? And there's some fun things you can do even when you're on your own, right? You've probably seen YouTube videos that just do the simple zoom in, zoom out, right? So, hey, Pat Flynn here with 3 tips to share with you about live streaming. If you've been live streaming for any moment of time, you'll realize how nervous you might get. But there's one thing I want to tell you. You don't have to be nervous because we all get nervous. It means you're excited. And just that little zoom in, zoom out, that pattern interrupt, adds a lot of flavor to the episode because it's a little bit different. There's some movement. There's something just to keep your eye going, right? It's just so much more flavorful, if that makes sense, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, adding a little bit of music. Music and sound effects can go a long way, and it's an easy way to stand out from other people who just have their phone up or their camera and they're just kind of going, and there's not really anything to offer that pattern interrupt. Music can be really great. I love the story time music, right? Just kind of in the background. This is a version of, in fact, if you listen to the intro song of the entire show, which is the rock version here.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream.
I had Music Radio Creative, which is where I got that song from. In fact, I created the lyrics, I hummed the tune, and they turned it into this awesome sort of Phineas and Ferb 90s rock band style thing.
This is the income stream.
Which is pretty cool. I also had them create a story time song, and it's been interesting because I didn't realize this was gonna take the way it did. But just having a song for that moment when I tell a story that plays in the background like this, still the income stream song. It's just lullaby version. You don't have to have your own music created for yourself. Make sure, however, if you do use music, it's royalty-free music. By the way, big shout out to Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming for creating what's called Stream Beats. You can actually play Stream Beats music. There's a playlist on YouTube, there's a playlist on Spotify. You're allowed to stream it for free. He's created it for that reason, and it's free for all streamers for YouTube, Twitch, etc., which is pretty cool. But having your own songs is pretty cool. But again, creating that sort of like pattern interrupt plus a different segment, like there's like storytime segments, right, of this. I also have an instrumental version of the same song. So that's pretty cool. But then there's other sound effects that you could include as well. If you're using Ecamm Live or even other streaming platforms and software, you can add these things too. I use a Rodecaster Pro for podcasting, and I just set that up here for my audio, so I have easier access to the sound effects, but you can put them on your Stream Deck as well, much like how you would put just some text on the screen like that as well. That's just an animated GIF, by the way. It's nothing special. I just found that. But it's funny because we've created a little bit of a culture here on the income stream with sounds like this. And if you remember, you know what to do.
Bruh.
Right?
Bruh.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. These sound effects, right? That's pretty cool. This one, that's a sound effect that we created when a person does a donation. And the way that that actually happens automatically is through Streamlabs, which can integrate with Ecamm Live, which then captures and allows me to create some animation when a super chat comes in. You can connect Streamlabs and those animations, those emotes, as they're called, that happen during certain activities that your audience does within your stream itself, and it can happen automatically, which is cool. And this is the new sound for any new members that come in. Yay, yay. Karma asked a question here. Thank you, Karma, by the way. Can you stream other things on Twitch besides games? Like, can I stream my show over there? Absolutely. There is, in fact, the largest section now of the platform is not any individual game, but the category called Just Chatting. And you can just go on there and just chat and have that be the sort of category that you're in. We found a lot of people. In fact, I stream on Twitch as well with my kids. We stream our games, Minecraft, Fortnite, that sort of thing. The categories are really important because that's how people can find you. And because we're in the Fortnite category, and you can change it with every stream, by the way. When we play Minecraft, we find people who like Minecraft and are searching for Minecraft. And we've been in Just Chatting before, which is more just casual viewers who are watching and interacting. And there's some people there who are literally streaming every day to tens of thousands of people. It's pretty amazing. So yes, it's definitely flexible. All right. Yo, Grandma Goody, thank you so much for this actionable advice and creating such a great community, parentheses, and human trafficking. If you don't know what Grandma Goody's talking about, her Streamlabs automated thing will pop up here in just a minute. There it is, $5 to the Super Chat, which for me in particular, I'm donating all my Super Chats, as well as all the membership fees that come in from YouTubers here for different causes every single month. This month, we are offering support to PolarisProject.org, which is helping put a stop to human trafficking. So thank you so much for that. Okay, 8:45. Let's keep going here. So I talked about pattern interrupts. So we're still talking about during the live stream. Lastly, I think a really important thing to do during your live stream, another way to interact, by the way, is to share your screen. If you're going to be demonstrating something, if you have the ability to just pop up your computer, if I pop up my computer here, what is it going to show? It's just going to show what I'm looking at right now, which is chat, and that's it. So I have really nothing on the screen right now to worry about. But if you're going to be sharing your screen, that's awesome. You can demo things. Just be aware of different sounds if you play certain things. For example, on YouTube, it might come into your stream and it might overtake, and just be aware of that. You can always mute YouTube and keep your microphone open. And again, this stuff just takes practice. I still make a lot of mistakes. I still look at the wrong camera sometimes, and but we try to have some fun. We try to mix it up. On Fridays, we've created this theme of just game day on Friday. Saturday is website and YouTube channel reviews. Sunday is just more of a chillax day of Q&A, and then we get into some more hardcore topics on Monday to Thursday, like today. Now, Paximus, yo, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. Did I see that come in? Working with a client, need to leave early. Grateful for you, Pat, and this community. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And I hope that you're getting value here. Let me know in the chat. In fact, if you'd like to leave a thumbs up to show support, that would be really amazing. Or thumbs down, either way, it helps. I want to get your honest response to what we've learned so far. And I still got a few more things to talk about, so make sure you stick around till the end. And like I said, we're going to give away 2 licenses for a pro version annual license of Ecamm Live to a couple winners here, which should be really fun. So appreciate you, and this is great. Cool. So let's talk about the final thing that we want to discuss whilst going live, and that is any call to actions. Call to actions are really, really key. This is your ability to ask people or to share with people what you would like them to do. A lot of people who I see go live just kind of end the stream, and there's nothing, I mean, they end the conversation there, and it's like, come back tomorrow. And that's totally okay. That's totally okay to do. And you showed up live, you're delivering value, you're building relationships. That's worth something for sure. But the ability for people to go, okay, hey, after we're done with this, go do this. Go watch this video, or go subscribe to my email list here, or take advantage of this offer, or check out this product, or follow me on Instagram, or whatever the case may be. Call to actions are totally welcome, and you have permission to ask people to do things, especially at the end of your live streams, because you've spent that entire time building that relationship. People have gotten to know you now, and they want to continue working with you and continue being focused on who you are and what you can offer them. One call to action that I always recommend for my people is to, of course, always subscribe if you can, and hit that bell notification icon, if you will. And then also this link here, which is a link that I've had created that always links to the next upcoming stream, or the replay for the one that just happened, if it's more closer to when this live stream happened. So pathlin.com/theincomestream. I'm trying to train my audience, and many of you have memorized this. This is simply just a pretty link. A pretty link is a WordPress plugin that allows me to take a really long link, like a YouTube link, and just pop it in here, so that every time a person goes here, it just redirects to that link. And when I set up the new stream for tomorrow, I will always take the stream link for tomorrow and pop it into this URL, so that we can go there. Karma says, my CTA is I tell everyone to go check out the Pat Flynn Income Stream show. Thank you so much for that, by the way, because I know you go stream right before this. And make sure you check out Karma, because there's some fun things happening between us soon on his stuff, which would be pretty cool. So call to action, really important. And yeah, I've created this link because I want people to come in every single day. Some people have asked about frequency. If you can remain frequent, if you can be consistent, that's obviously going to be better. People here, let me know if this is you. You've made this a part of your day. This is part of your routine now. If I miss a day, or if even I'm a few minutes late, it's kind of like worrisome a little bit, which I think is really cool. The same thing happens with my podcast, which is pretty amazing. And what's really cool is you're building this community of people who sort of expect you to show up. And it's like the new form of morning radio or morning talk show. You can have your own talk show with just a little bit of production quality. You can actually go a very, very long way.
Bruh.
And stand out from a lot of other people who are even more famous, who maybe don't have access to a lot of these tools that we have, and the audience and the connection that we have with the audience too, which is pretty cool. So it gets me started with a smile every day. Appreciate that. Gorilla Podcast says, how do you do IT on your screen? IT, information technology, is that how do I do it? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by it, but yeah, it's very much part of my day, says Rhino Dog. Part of my day, says Vicky. It's frustrating that I can't check people's channels from this chat. So much more used to Twitch. Yeah, I mean, YouTube has still got a long way to go. Most of my audience is here on YouTube already, which is why I'm here. If I was starting from scratch, Twitch may be an interesting platform to start with, but I think it's still very gaming heavy, but there's still a lot of people who are building large audiences there outside of gaming and streaming and doing very well there. But the way to go about it would be to have that little bit of extra step by typing in their name into the search bar here on YouTube, and then filtering by channel to be able to find them. All right, question from Dole Whip Dad. Regarding lives, your take on moderators I found is great to have for giving people a sense of belonging, but it also gets weird, likely doing away with mods on my streams. Thoughts? So mods like real people mods or mods like bot mods, because there are different kinds of mods. There's one called Nightbot that you can subscribe to that can put the ban hammer and really quiet a lot of spam or things like that if they were to happen. However, they can definitely get in the way of just people's regular chats sometimes. That's called Nightbot, and it's free to sign up, and it can help manage and moderate your chat without another person in there. If there is another person, I think that's great, especially if it's somebody on your team or somebody who you share the same values with, who cares about your audience as much as you do. Like, that can work out really well. But for right now, especially even with hundreds of people watching and thousands watching later, I haven't found the need for an actual person. However, if I was going to do a very, very large live stream that was set up specifically for a campaign I was running, and I knew that there was going to be maybe hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people in there, I might invite some moderators to come in who could have admin access to my channel so that they can manage the conversation. They can stand out a little bit more. I do this on my Zooms during my workshops and often my webinars as well. But for the live streams, I don't really have that. Nightbot boo, says Michael. That's awesome. I meant, how did you link your live screen inside of YouTube? So that's simply done through Ecamm, what you can do for Ecamm specifically. And you can do this with OBS and StreamYard and others, is you can connect your YouTube account. And now when I go live, Ecamm will go, hey, do you want to go live just in general, or do you want to pick the live stream that you've set up ahead of time on YouTube? And essentially just automatically feeds into YouTube. I'm not actually open on YouTube right now, but I'm streaming through Ecamm Live, which is my Mac software for streaming, into YouTube from there, which is pretty cool. All right, now let's talk about, to finish up, what happens. Thank you for all the thumbs up, by the way. We are over 100 thumbs up and likes, which is pretty dope. Thank you for that. And make sure to stick around, because in 7 minutes, I'm going to be giving away 2 annual licenses, pro versions of Ecamm Live to 2 lucky winners here. And if you don't have that, we'll find another way to give you something of the same value. Excuse me. All right. Let me sit down for this. 200 people watching live. Thank you so much, by the way. You are amazing. We're going to finish up here by talking about what to do after live streams. So on platforms, most platforms, after the live stream is over, it'll take a couple moments to process, and then it can be watched later. And this is why, like I said in the beginning, if you weren't here, it's really important that when you start your live streams, you start them as if your people are already there, because for the replay viewers, they don't need to wait until people come in the room. In fact, that's just gonna, not make the experience really great. So starting right away is totally okay. And then during the live stream, continually reminding people what it is they're here for, what they're gonna get at the end, and why they need to stick around. The hook also really, really important. But the replay will become automatic in most cases. YouTube just processes it, and you can choose to have it show up on your videos. Facebook, it shows up and then people can watch it later. On Twitch, it becomes something that people can watch later too. And so I really love that. And that becomes something that you can share. You can share it later. You can email it out to people. You can use it as a resource now. I'm definitely going to be using this video as a resource for anybody who's interested in learning how to go live and wants to learn the basics. It'll just be easy for that, right? It becomes a way to answer people's questions. Creating live streams that are about the most commonly asked questions can be a really smart strategy, because now I'm building a library of, I have 153 different live streams, although not all of them are very topic specific. Some of them are, that I can use to answer people's questions. And now when I answer people's questions, they're seeing my face, they're hearing my voice, they're seeing a community as a part of it, and they know that I'm going live now, and they can show up and become a part of the tribe as well, which is really cool. So that's pretty dope. The replay, it just happens. Now there's some fun things you can do with the replay. You can repurpose the replay. You can take clips from the replay, which actually we've done as an experiment. I've taken certain clips from the 1 hour stream. Your streams don't have to be an hour. They can be as long or short as you want them to be, so long as you are keeping that container of value in there. But we have taken clips from these live streams that we've done here on the Income Stream on YouTube, have chopped up maybe 5 to 10 minute clips that are very searchable and specific, right? No worries, Karma. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. And what's really cool is those little mini clips become much more searchable. They become much more intriguing to click on. They're a lot shorter, so people are more willing to watch all the way through. And then they go, whoa, this is part of a larger whole. Where can I get access to that info? So if you are going to be repurposing, a great way to repurpose would be to take a very searchable clip about a very specific thing that you talked about during the live stream and turn that into its own video. And whether you pop that into your existing feed or you share it elsewhere, or you share it on social media or what have you, it can be a great way to introduce people to the fact that you have a live show, to the kind of value that you have to share. And you can find people with the algorithm and potentially have it go viral and be found in search for those things. I've been found on search for a lot of these little clips that we've shared. However, we experimented with sharing them on a different channel. The Income Stream Clips is another channel that we created just to see if just by posting the clips there we can get subscribers. And we have over 400 subscribers there, which is pretty cool. But from just those clips alone, which now each of them have the capability of finding new people to come into the show, which is pretty cool. I will say, however, that repurposing can get out of hand. It can definitely get out of hand. It's very common in the podcasting space. I'm sure it's the same in YouTube land and video and live streams. But oftentimes people will spend so much time repurposing and editing and adding, for podcasting, they take that audio, put a video on top of it, put it onto social media. And it's like they're spending more time repurposing than actually building relationships and marketing their stuff. You think that social media is marketing, and it kind of is. But the trouble with it is you're marketing to people who already know you exist, right? When you share your podcast, your replay, your clips on social media, guess what happens? Those are already people who know you exist. So how might you find other people who don't know you exist? That's where I would spend more of my time and energy versus repurposing. I think repurposing and developing a system or an SOP, a standard operating procedure for you or your team to do that just is easy, it's simple, just takes not that much time is great. But when you find yourself spending more time repurposing versus actually marketing and getting out in front of newer audiences, collaborating, building relationships with other people, leaders, authority people in your space, collecting success stories that you've created, creating opportunities, relationships with other affiliate partners, that's where I think the success can come from. Repurposing sometimes is not so great as it seems to be. And then finally, just keep learning, keep getting better. Every time I do these streams, I think of one or two things that I want to focus on and get better at. This is what I do when I go on stages. I think about different ways that I can improve on little things incrementally. Like, for example, I remember going on stage once and I was like, okay, today is hands day. I'm going to go on stage, I'm going to deliver this presentation, but I really want to focus on what I do with my hands. Or another time, what am I going to do as far as using the stage and the entire stage, and how might I pause in certain moments at the center of the stage when I'm giving punchlines? I do the same thing for my live streams too. And the more you do them, and the more you consciously think about what you can do to improve, the more likely it is that you're going to see that small percentage turn into exponential growth. And that's a curve that we don't want to flatten, the growth curve of our success as live streamers, as YouTubers, content creators. And hey chat, we had an amazing conversation today. I hope that you enjoyed this. Feel free to share it if you'd like. Thank you for the thumbs up. About 200 people watching live at one point. This is super fantastic. I'm so glad that we were able to connect together today so that I can help you with your upcoming live stream, whether you choose to do this more regularly or you're going to be doing it every once in a while as a way to connect with your audience, to answer people's questions, to support a campaign that you might be having when you're going to be promoting something. Either way, you can use these strategies for your benefit. And I hope that this was helpful. So thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you. For those of you who are SPI Pro members, look out for the AMA happening at 10 a.m. literally in 1 hour. We're going to be doing rapid fire Q&A in a very new and interesting way within SPI Pro, which is my membership community at smartpassiveincome.com/pro if you want to check that out. And finally, I'm going to scroll up and down the chat, and I'm going to find two people who are going to win the licenses, the annual license for Ecamm Live. So I'm going to scroll up and down here, and let's put on some music. Scroll up and down my chat. I'm just literally letting my mouse do the work, and I let go, and wherever it ends up, that's who wins. So let's see. Yo, GTO helps. You are the first winner. Congratulations, GTO helps. Send an email to pat@patflynn.com, and you get that. Didn't you win something the other day? I think you did. Well, hey. You're getting lucky, which is awesome. So GTO helps. Send an email to pat@patflynn.com, and I'm scrolling up and down for the second winner here. we got Dr. Joella from way up there. Awesome. Congratulations to you both, the GTO Help and Dr. Joella. Send an email to pat@patflynn.com. I'll hook you up with Ecamm Live Pro. If you're not a Mac user, we can figure out something else for you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in today. You are amazing. You are amazing. You're amazing. This is super fun. Thanks for your energy today. Thanks for giving me energy to give back to you. This is the feedback loop that we love. Come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, so we start a half hour earlier. Don't forget, a half hour earlier. Come to this link, patflynn.com/theincomestream, and I'll be there to serve you too again. So thank you. I appreciate you. And as always, Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Thank you. You're amazing. You're going to have an awesome day. You're going to come back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. instead of 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And we're going to have another chat tomorrow about something new. Members, thank you so much for signing up. Everybody here, much peace, love. Appreciate you.
Bruh.